Southampton currently sit 4th in the championship table, but the big question is, have we had a good start to the season? So obviously looking at the table, Saints are currently sitting 4th, and we've won 9 games, drawn 3, lost 4, scored 27 goals, let in 26 with a goal difference of 1 and sat on 30 points. I believe we are currently the informed team in the championship over the last 10 games and have closed that gap down on Leicester and Ipswich. However, obviously at the start of the season, there were very large expectations. People were probably expecting us to be in that top 2 currently. And that middle spell where we had that shaky run really put some question marks on Russell Martin's future and whether he is the long-term solution to that Saints managerial spot. So I think a good way to analyse this is to look through our fixtures and just go over the results, who we beat, who we haven't beat, and just go through a few talking points. So obviously we started the season with that win against Sheffield Wednesday. They are currently sitting bottom, so that was a game which, you know, you would expect us to actually win, and we got ourselves off to a good start. Now, losing in the cup obviously had its positives and negatives. Positives, it means that we can focus more on the league. Negatives, it is always nice to have that cup run. It means that you can try out different players, different formations, and also just gives the fans that sort of feel-good feeling. And yeah, we then moved on from that cup game to that 4-4 draw against Norwich. Now, this was quite a weird game, I think. Norwich, I think, played very, very well. They caught us on the counter. We then move on to the Southampton versus Norwich game, and I think this was quite a weird game overall. I think Norwich played quite well, scored some good goals, definitely exposed some issues at the back, and I think this was probably the first sort of sign that we did have some issues in terms of conceding goals, which is obviously carried on throughout the rest of the season. And then we moved on to a back-to-back wins against Plymouth and QPR. And if you take into and then we moved on to back-to-back wins against Plymouth and QPR. And as a whole, that was a pretty good start. You know, beating Wednesday, the cup wasn't great, but then drawing with Norwich, beating Plymouth, beating QPR. So I think at this point, most fans were happy. But then obviously things started to turn. And then we went on this horrible run of losing 4 games on the bounce, conceding lots of goals. Obviously this hammering against Sunderland, hammered against Leicester, this unfortunate loss against Ipswich. I don't think we played too bad. But yeah, Ipswich just sat in, caught us on the counter, scored, and then were just very, very organised and made it very hard for us to actually break them down. And then obviously losing against Borough just sealed off a really, really bad 2-3 weeks. And I'm not going to lie, for me personally at this point, I was questioning whether Russell Martin was going to be the man for the job moving forwards. We were letting in so many goals. The start of play wasn't really working. You can see the players' heads were down. And it just looked like if we lost a couple more games, maybe Martin's job would have been in doubt and perhaps a new manager would have then come in. And then, as we know, things changed for the better, which I think is probably just football. I think after this 4-game streak here, a lot of fans were overreacting, especially myself as well. Sunderland, Leicester, Ipswich and Borough are good teams, and they probably caught us at a good time where we were still learning the system, players getting used to how Martin wants to play. But then after that, we did then go on a much better run, obviously. Beating Leeds was a great win for us, a real confidence boost. They're definitely going to be one of those teams at the top with us battling. And then a good win away from home at Stoke. The draw from against Rotherham, wasn't great. They are down the bottom. But overall, you can't really win every game, especially in the Championship. We then followed that up with a win against Hull. A good draw coming back from 2-1 down against Preston. I believe we scored in the last minute here. The last minute against Hull as well. A comfortable win at home against Birmingham. A fairly comfortable 1-0 away at Millwall. I believe their keeper made a lot of saves. And it's always a difficult place to actually go. So getting the win there was very, very good. And then obviously this win against Baggies here. Another late win, which is always very, very good to see. And then moving forward up till Christmas, we do have some very, very good fixtures. Hopefully we can capitalise on the momentum which we've built up, carry on this really, really good run. And I think for me personally, and also for a lot of fans, I think it sort of teaches us that sometimes it takes a manager a bit of time to actually put his stamp on the team. take some time for the players to understand that style. Like I was saying, after that 4-game loss streak, I was very angry. There was lots of fans that were angry. People calling for Russell Martin's head. But I think, yeah, it sort of teaches us a bit of patience. Look at the overall picture. There we go. And we do have a lot of young players as well. So I think if we can just keep on building on these good wins and draws lately, start to actually keep on putting that pressure on the top 2, I think come Christmas, we should be there or thereabouts. Let me know in the comments how you think our start has been. Has it been good? Has it been bad? Are we where you expected? And like I mentioned in the last video, this is a brand new channel. So if you do watch, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.